Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I get a lot of messages on my LinkedIn usually from developers asking me how they can get started as a freelance developer. Now, there are many details to it and there are many aspects to this question. And I want to talk about a lot of things around being a freelance developer. All right. As you can see, this page has a lot of details. And this video is going to be very, very useful and very, very beneficial to you if you are thinking of being a freelance developer. Because I'll be sharing tips and some details with you that will save you immense amount of time and a lot of energy and a lot of heartbreak you can call it, as in bad experiences. It'll save you a lot of bad experiences. All right. So about 8 years back, I also was a freelancer. I used to take up freelance projects, and then obviously I started creating my own companies and all of that started happening. But when I was working, I used to do freelance projects on the side. So I have the perspective that I'll give you in this video would be both from somebody who's worked on freelance projects, and now as a product owner, I hire freelancers whenever my team is busy with some critical task that I need to get something done quickly. So I hire freelancers on an hourly basis or on a project basis and get some task done quickly. So I'll give you a perspective, like a complete well-rounded perspective, and I've been more than 10 years in the industry, right? So I have seen the entire industry, and the perspective that I'll give you will be quite unique, will be very wholesome, and you'll get a lot of information that you usually won't get anywhere else. All right. Now, before we start talking about how to get started, there are these few rules that I think everybody should know about freelancing as a developer. Rules is a very strong word. I agree that you can't just have a rule about something, but if you follow these as rules, you'll end up saving a lot of time, money, and effort, and energy, and all of those things. You'll end up saving a lot of that, and you'll end up making very few mistakes, and you'll end up not having a lot of bad experiences. All right. So I'm sharing these things with you. Take a note of them. Make sure you register them. All right. I'll explain to you all these things, but make sure you follow them. If you're starting out as a freelance developer, try and follow these things. You will not make a lot of mistakes, and you will be really happy freelancing. All right. Otherwise, you'll have to make all those mistakes first-handedly. Don't do that always. All right. Try to learn from people who have already made mistakes. And so the first rule is never rely only on freelancing. All right. So this is like a cognitive dissonance, you can call it, wherein what I'm saying is that even if you're freelancing, don't let it be your primary source of income. Otherwise, you'll never be happy, because freelancing is not a very stable way of making money. I know people on the internet will glamorize it and they'll show it as the best place, the best way to make money as a developer. It is not. I mean, they don't know what they're saying. Maybe they're just doing it since 5-6 months, right? In the first 5-6 months, it looks very, very good. It's a great business model, but it's not sustainable for a very long period of time. It has a lot of ups and downs. It's very, very unstable. Only if you know what you're doing, then it's sustainable for a very long period of time. And in the beginning, obviously, it's very important to not rely just on freelancing as the primary source of income. It's best to be doing a job on the side, or maybe you're just a college student who's just studying and then he's doing freelancing on the side. That way, you don't take the freelancing projects so seriously, right? And even if you make mistakes, which you'll end up making a lot of mistakes on your freelancing projects, right? So even if you make mistakes, you don't take it to your heart, you don't take it seriously, you don't let it reflect on you, all right? So always have something on the side going on, like a primary job that you work on, and on the side you're doing freelancing, or you're a college student and on the side you're doing freelancing, right? Never rely on freelancing as your primary source of income. That's rule number one. All right. Many people will disagree. People will tell you, no, it's the best career option out there. Don't listen to them. I'm telling you, don't rely on freelancing as your primary source of income. All right. It's always on the side. And if you want to do something of your own full-time, start a company, start building a team. Just don't sit as a freelancer. All right. And there are freelancers who have built careers out of it. Those are very niche kind of guys who have a lot of experience, and they get paid thousands of dollars per hour. That's something different. We'll talk about that. That's like a consulting kind of advising consulting kind of freelancer. That's a very different person. We'll talk about that in some other video, right? And then the second rule. So when I say 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the stages of the rules. So this rule is critical. These are not so critical, as in number two is number two priority, in the sense you can apply it, can't apply it. Even if you don't apply it, it's okay. Third is, if you don't apply it, it's all right? Fourth is, it's like optional, completely optional. But if you are able to apply these first two stages, you'll do really well. All right. So the second stage is learn in every project. So every project that you take up, there has to be some learning for you. Otherwise, you don't stay passionate about it, you don't stay committed, you don't stay entertained, you don't stay engaged, and your quality of your work starts dropping. When that starts happening, your name in the market gets, word gets out in the market that you're not a great person, and you don't get good enough references, right? So make sure, and also as a career option, it's not that great if you're not learning anything in the new project, right? It's tempting to think that, okay, there's nothing new in this project, and let me just make money. There's not learning, but it's okay, I'm just doing it for the money. Don't do that. If you're a freelancer, make sure you learn in every single project. You're learning exactly the things that you want to learn. So let's say you want to learn Golang, take up a Golang project, right? You want to learn serverless, pick up a serverless project, right? So you have to be learning in every project. Then next thing at the same stage, second stage, is charging incrementally more in every project. So this is something that not many people do, but this is something that I highly recommend. So if you charged, let's say $100 for a website, now that you have some confidence that you can get things done, right, by either by reading from Stack Overflow, or getting some solution from GitHub, or watching a course, you have the confidence of, whatever it is, I'll be able to build it somehow. Then you start incrementally charging more for every project. So you charged $100 in the first project. Maybe it was a different technology, right? And now you have a new website to build. Maybe it's in React or Redux or hooks, which you don't know, but you'll still charge incrementally more in every project. You'll say, now I want $10, now I want $500, right? So charge incrementally more in every single project. Keep increasing your rates. This will ensure that you get dopamine hit every single time. So it's read any book related to building habits and getting work done, right? They'll all talk about dopamine loops. So the better rewards you get every single time, you stay engaged, and you really start enjoying your job, right? So make sure you charge incrementally in every single project. Now there's another rule. It's called, in the beginning, work for free, right? So let's say it's the first project, the first 2-3 projects. Try and work for free, because you will 100% you will mess up those first 3 to 4 projects, right? There is no chance you're going to get it done right, because the client's requirements will change. Client's requirements, there will be some aspect will be very difficult to get done, or there will be some part of technology that you won't know. So in the beginning, just work for free. So the first 3 projects, if you do for free, then you don't end up taking up too much stress. You don't end up thinking that, I've taken this guy's money, I have to get done somehow, right? You're like, oh, hey, I've not charged you anything anyways, man. I'm busy these days with my college project, so give me some more time, that kind of stuff. Either charge work for free, or charge like very, very less, like nominal amount, all right? And that will ensure that you learn, but also you don't take up the stress associated with it. Then the third stage is build reusable components or code. So in front end, back end, at any level, you can have reusable code that you can start using in your next projects. Even though it's a different technology, but you know that, okay, there's authentication, there's authorization, there's database connections, there's controllers, there's models, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so you know about how these things work, right? And then now you can convert this into another technology easily, but you know that these are the different components of a project, right? So start building these reusable components, keep making them better, refining it, and then you can start using it in a different language in a different project later on, right? So this is very important. Many people forget to do this, but make sure you do this, because then it starts making the upcoming projects more and more profitable for you, right? Because you spend less time, because you already have reusable code, and you can charge more money because you already have good quality code with you. And then form a network for delivery and project swap. What this means is that it's not possible for you to always get the right project that you want to work on, right? And there are other people like you who are, let's say, SEO experts and digital marketing experts or website designers. They have no development expertise, and they want to send their projects to you. And sometimes you get a lot of queries about SEO and digital marketing that you have no idea how to do. So you can send those projects to them, right? So you have like a network where you can swap these projects around, and this ensures that you build a stable kind of inflow of clients and projects, and this makes your business a little bit stable, and make sure that you don't end up running for new projects every single month. All right, so that's a very, very great and killer way. By the way, I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're registering all of this, because this is very critical information. If you don't know, if you've not done freelancing before, or I think even if you've done freelancing before, and you're not a pro at it, and you're not spent like 5-6 years in it, then there's information here that's going to basically take you to the next level. All right. And then another rule, which is at the third stage, that means the not critical stage, is all payment upfront. All right. So like I said, these 2 stages are kind of critical. This one is, if you do it, then you'll obviously have an edge over everybody else. So all payment is upfront. All right. Now, with service projects, with freelancing and service projects, what ends up happening is that you take up a project and then you start working on it, and then you realize that the client has more complicated requirements, and then that's a place where conflict kind of starts happening. And this might lead to conflict around payments as well. Like he might say that, hey, I expected this, I was expecting all of this, but you just did this. But he's not a developer, right? The client, he's not realizing how difficult it was. So it's always great to have all payment upfront. That way you'll have positive cash flow all the time, and you'll always have money. You'll always be happy and free, no matter what happens with the project. All right. So this is difficult to do, difficult to convince your clients, and difficult to implement, and it requires a lot of discipline to always ask for money upfront and not starting projects and like saying no to clients that don't want to give you money upfront. But and this is something that you can do once you have like a working model, and once you have set clients, and once you have a lot of name in the market. Only then you can start asking for payments upfront. But once you start doing it, you'll have always positive cash flow, and you'll always be happy. All right. And the fourth rule is, as much as possible, since it's the fourth stage, it's not as important to as the first and second stage, like I said, but it's also this will give you an edge, right? The fourth thing is, take up small projects. Small projects are easy to fulfill. They have a shorter sales cycle. They're you can take other people's help. They're you get paid faster, so you get that quick dopamine hit, right? It's just a 30 days project or a 15 days project rather than like a 1 year project. So or even if it's a 1 year project, divide it into very small milestones, so that you get paid every 15-20 days, so that you keep getting hooked. You like working on the project. So that's why I'm saying take up small projects only as much as possible. Even if you take up big projects, divide them to very small milestones. You get paid every 15-20 days. All right, that will keep you happy. So all of these 4 different stages of rules are rules. I know it's a strong word, rules, but if you apply them as rules, if you follow the discipline, if you kind of try and follow this, you'll be way happier, and your life will be way smoother, right, as a freelancer. All right. Now, I want to talk about making freelance sustainable. So how do you start making freelancing sustainable? One way is to be in a place which is full of startups. So always have like a startup network. Because if you realize, freelancers usually work with startups, as in startups are the people who will give a chance to a freelancer. The bigger companies will always prefer to work with companies, because they feel that even if a developer is sick or ill, they will replace the developer and their work will go on, right? So they don't ideally depend on freelancers, bigger companies, right? So always startups will be the people who will be preferring to work with freelancers. So why don't you have a complete startup network, and a big circle of startups that you talk to and that you meet up with, that you work with, right? So that will ensure that you always keep getting inquiries, always keep getting these projects. Then you have to start reaching out to your friends in high positions. So maybe there were people smarter than you, or people who passed out with you from your college. Maybe they're in high positions right now. Maybe they're like the marketing director or something, or technology director somewhere, and they can give you some small project or something like that, right? So this also kind of ensures that you keep getting sustainable inflow of work, because if they're in a big company in a high position, they can always keep sending out work repeatedly to you. All right. And then you get projects from references. So let's say you completed one project, you did a good job. Now you ask that client for 3 to 4 more references. So this is something that in the beginning you'll feel a little weird doing it, because as it's a very, like, I found it very difficult to do it. It's a social skill that you have to develop. So you have to kind of request them that, hey, Mr. Client, I think I did a good job on your project. Why don't you recommend me to 3 or more of your friends, right? So if he's a startup guy, he'll know 3-4 more startup guys, and you start getting so many references. Or let's say he's a doctor and you built their website, and then now he knows many other doctors, right? Because he passed out with them from college, or he's a part of a committee of doctors. So he'll start recommending all those people to you. So this is a very good, very strong way of getting business, because your cost of acquisition, if you don't know what cost of acquisition is, just read about it. It's called CAC, cost of acquisition. That kind of starts becoming zero if you are getting all of your work from references, and that's the best place to be in as a freelancer. All right. And then there's something called hunting and farming. Hunting is looking for new projects, and farming is growing the projects that you have. And I've found it more sustainable to have a lot of farming kind of an approach, like an account manager kind of an approach, rather than a sales kind of an approach, wherein whatever projects that you get, you keep growing them. So let's say if you were just building their website, now it'd say, I'll build your website, but I'll also build your mobile app and also handle your server. So like that, you just keep growing them. Or if the company is growing, you start growing with them, right? You say, okay, no, I can handle more work now since your website is there in the market and it's getting so much traffic. So you start basically growing with them, all right? And then so this was about farming. But let's say you said, okay, I don't want to, do all of this. I'm not in the right position to do all of this, but I want to hunt for new projects. I want to start getting a big projects, right? Even as a freelancer. So how do you start hunting for new projects with, none of this? So you use Google Maps in Google and you find out companies around your area, and then you basically start approaching them for projects on email or phone calling and that kind of stuff. So this is a complete philosophy and methodology in itself. You can Google it, you can find out about it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube on how you can find out new business using Google Maps, and it works. I mean, it's not difficult to get projects using Google Maps, and it works. In the sense, you just basically find out projects in the same geographical area, and then you start approaching them saying that, hey, I did some work for this guy. He's your competitor. He's in the same area, and why don't you hire me also for your website or for your mobile app or whatever. So this is like I said, it's a complete methodology. It's a complete system. You can Google it. You can watch videos about this on YouTube. The second way is to get business through LinkedIn. This again is a complete methodology in itself, right? How to approach clients on LinkedIn, how to get them to talk, how to get them to share email addresses with you, how to initiate a conversation, how to get a booking, a call with them, how do you start converting them. You'll have to YouTube this and how to basically start getting projects. It's not difficult at all, actually. And then there are events. This I found, this I'll just change the color, because this I find to be the most amazing way of getting projects. In events, I was very skeptical about events since the beginning, right? I used to think that if I go to these events, like all these startup events and everything, I'm not going to get a lot of projects, right? But it's actually not true. I mean, you go to events, you meet a lot of people, and you get talking, you stay in touch, and you'll be surprised that since they've met you face to face, they always remember you, and they'll always keep sending projects to you. All right. So this is something that is very, very powerful. So like events is very powerful, and like I said, projects is very, very, from references is very, very powerful, right? I was surprised as to how much business you can get. I mean, even when I was not freelancing, I had a service company. I have got like $100,000 projects from references. You won't believe it. I'll talk about it in one of the videos. Don't worry. I'll show you how to get $100,000 projects. All right. It's not difficult. It takes a while. It takes a lot of experience, but you can do it. So I got those projects through references, right? So it's that powerful, and events are extremely powerful as well. And the next is co-working spaces. So don't work from home. My advice to all freelancers is never, don't work from home. Go to co-working spaces, because you build up this community, right, of people who can give projects to you, and you can give projects to them, and you become like a complete, embedded in the ecosystem. You get to know a lot of startups. You get to know a lot of clients. You get to know a lot of other freelancers who can help you with projects. So you become a part of the ecosystem, and then it's very difficult for you to not do good in business, because you're part of the ecosystem, right? Everybody knows you, so you start doing really well. So co-working spaces is a great way to stay in the ecosystem and get projects. All right. So we've talked about the rules that kind of govern how freelancing would work out really well for you. You'll minimize the percentage and the probability of risk, and how you can make freelancing sustainable if you want to pursue freelancing, and how you can hunt for projects even if you don't want to grow your current projects, or you don't have friends in high positions because maybe you're just a college student, and maybe you don't have any previous clients because you don't have any references, right? So this is the way to go, hunting for new projects. All right. This is difficult in the beginning. It takes time, but once you build a system, you kind of can grow really fast. So these are the things that I wanted to share with you. I hope you learned a lot in this video, because this information is gold, basically, right? Share it with your friends. Keep watching this video whenever you get stuck somewhere, and do apply these rules. Put them somewhere in your room if you're freelancing, and then make sure you follow these rules, because they're very easy to miss. And as you start missing them, your quality and your work starts going down. So always keep this in front of you, and then you'll see your work taking off, and you're becoming more happier, richer, more profitable, and more engaged, and creative, and all of that. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and do subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. Do share this video with your friends. I'll see you. Bye.